Hey guys, this is Elle, and today I am going to be doing the historical romance book tag. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, historical romance reader book tag. This was created by Peace Love Books, Jess, and I love her channel. I love her content. She's amazing, so I'll link her YouTube below, and definitely check her out. So, let's get into it. And I am super excited that she made this tag because I feel like there isn't a lot of tags for a lot of romance readers. It's more just general booktubers, and I'm really excited that she made a historical romance one because I love historical romances and I just love talking about them because they're so much fun. So the first question is, what was the first historical romance you ever read? So the first historical romance I ever read was The Surviving Trace by Kalia Reed, and this is kind of a time travel romance, and it's amazing. So our heroine, she's like, she has this like antique store, and she's really into antiques, and she kind of has the perfect life. She is engaged, and she's just living the dream, and she one day finds this really old photograph of these four men, and it was in like the 1900s, like the early 1900s, and she's like, I wonder what the story is behind this. And then she ends up time traveling to that time period, and when she first gets there, she's like, what just happened? And she kind of goes into this room. It's like a ballroom, and this guy comes up to her and he's like, where have you been? Serene, that's the heroine's name, and she's like, welcome everybody, greet my wife. And she's like, what? I'm not your wife. And she's totally confused, and it's just amazing. And it's a 3-book series, and the second book is my favorite. It's The Reigning and the Rule. This one's my favorite out of the whole series, but she kind of has to convince him that she's from the future. She tells him about historical things that had happened like after she came, and she's like, well, this is going to happen on this date. Like, she told him about the Titanic, and he's like, well, how did you know that? And then it happens like 3 days later, and he's like, what? That's so weird. And then they start to kind of get a romance together. They start having a thing. But then the also crazy thing, I forgot to tell you guys this, but the crazy thing is that there is another woman that actually is his wife, and her name is Serene. It's like they're doppelgangers, I guess. I don't really know what the term is in the book, but so like the hero, his name is Etienne, and he hates his wife because she's like horrible to him, and so he thinks that the Serene from the future is the Serene from his time, and so he's like trying to get that image out of his head of his like Serene, and it's just amazing. And then there's also like in the later books in the series, there's like a thread of there's like a side plot of this weird like action thing, and it kind of goes to her descendants, Serene's descendants, or her ancestors, and it intertwines with Etienne's family, and it's just amazing. I really love this series, and I think you should definitely go check it out. The next question is, what was the last historical romance you read? And so the last historical romance I read was Secrets of a Summer Night by Lisa Kleypas. This book is so good. We follow our heroine Annabelle, and she's kind of a wallflower, and her family is in debt after her father passed away, and so she's trying to find a husband by the end of the social season. And so one night at this like ballroom party, she kind of she always sits with the same like girls because nobody really asks them to dance with them, and so she kind of for the first time is like, hey, you know, this is so boring, you know, just like chattering with the other girls. And then they kind of become friends, and they make up this pact to help each other find husbands. And first up is Annabelle, and it's so good. And years ago, Annabelle went to this like theater performance, and she kissed for the first time this guy named Simon, and he kind of is, I guess, I explained this in another video, if you want to know that. It's the historical romance recommendations that's on my channel, but he kind of has, he like he went up in the ranks because his family is in the butcher business, and I think he did something with like accounting or taxes or something, but everybody has looked down at him because he is the butcher's, like a butcher's son, and so people think that he should not be, you know, in social society because of where he grew up, and so that's why she's kind of not wanting to be with him, and he wants her to be his mistress, and she wants to just marry somebody, and it's really good. There's lots of angst, and I really like this book, and this is the first book in the series, and then there is the prequel, which is Again the Magic, but I read Again the Magic first, and then this book. It doesn't really matter, but I really like this one, and I think you would like it too, and yeah, it's really good. I love Lisa Kleypas's writing. So the next question is, who is an underrated historical romance author you wish more people read? And I am definitely going to choose Kalia Reed. She is so underrated. Her books are amazing. There's so much angst and passion, and there's just that angst of, especially in the time travel series, like just, you know, love going over spans of years because Serene like time travels and stuff, but it's really good. And the second book is my favorite. Funny story, I accidentally bought the second book first, so then I had to like go and buy the first book to read it, but it's really good. It was recommended to me by Jess and Lacey, and I'll link them down below, but I really enjoy this series, and she has a couple other standalones too. She has another book called The King of the South, that's in this world too, and that's Etienne's twin brother, and I really like that one too. So definitely go check out Kalia Reed's books because she's awesome. Who is a historical romance author you haven't read yet but need to? So I ended up grabbing 4 different authors because I'm just that way, and I still haven't read anything by Joanna Shupe, and I absolutely need to. I know some of you guys are going to come for me in this video, but I need to read Joanna Shupe, and I really want to read this book first from her. It's set in like America and New York society, and I think it's different classes. I'm not sure, but a lot of people really love this series and this author. I really need to read Lenora Bell. I have a couple of her books. I don't know what this book is about, but I just know I need to read more of her books, or just read one of them. And then the next book is, or author is My American Duchess by Eloisa James. I still have not read an Eloisa James book, and I absolutely need to. She is so popular in the historical romance world, and I really want to read one of her books. Definitely in the comments below, tell me what I should first read from her. So I have a couple of her books, and people really liked My American Duchess, so maybe I'll start with this one, but I have no idea. And then the last author that I want to read is Donna Fletcher. She writes a lot of Highlander romances, and I absolutely love Highlander romances. I always picture Jamie from Outlander, and for all of the heroes, even if they don't have red hair, but I really want to read one of her books. This one's called The Angel and the Highlander, and this is a part of one of her most popular series, so I definitely want to read this soon. Okay, so the next question is, what historical romance would you recommend to people who are new to the genre? So I would recommend anything from Tessa Dare. This is the first book in one of her most popular series. It's called The Girl Meets Duke series, and she just is really an amazing author, and she kind of has these like rom-com-ish historical romances, and I think they're so fun. And this book was one of the first historical romances I've ever read, so I definitely recommend starting off with her because I think it brings like a fun light, I guess, like filter of historical romances, and I think she is awesome to start with. I also think you should start with Lisa Kleypas because she is very popular in the romance community, and she has really like angsty, passionate books. But you should also start, another book or author that you could read from is Beverly Jenkins. I think I read Night Song. Yes, it's called Night Song. That was the first book she ever wrote. And so I read that first, and I need to read more. I need to buy more of her books, but I can never find them on thrift books. So I just need to take the bunch and get them on like Amazon or whatever. But anyways, she has really great historicals, and they are kind of set in usually in America, like more the West. And I really liked them. Night Song. There's Night Song, there's Indigo. But I've only read Night Song, and I definitely recommend Night Song. So the next question is, what is your favorite historical romance of all time? So I'll have to go with The Secret by Julie Garwood. This one is just so amazing. This book is a Highlander romance, and our heroine is best friends with this woman, and they've been best friends since they were young, and her best friend is about to give birth to her first child, and so she wants to go visit her best friend and help her deliver the baby, but the clan, her best friend married into a Scottish clan, and I think it's in the Highlands, I'm not 100% sure, it's definitely in Scotland, and they never really let new people in to their clan, and so they had to go through all these hoops to get her there. And so this one guy, the hero, he goes to get our heroine and bring her to the clan, and they kind of they fall in love, and it's kind of like a traveling romance a little bit, but it's really good. I really enjoyed this one. It's definitely one of my favorites of all time. And then another book that is one of my favorites is In Bed with the Highlander by Maya Banks. This book is amazing. It's another Highlander romance, and our heroine is kind of kidnapped by this like rival clan, and there's like a little boy with that they like took with them too, and so they kind of escape, and she is like the one that really helps them escape. And so the little boy's like, we need to go to my clan, my father will help us, and so they go to his clan, and his father is our hero. And so she also is trying to like hide her identity for some reason. I can't remember why, but he's trying to like figure out who she is, and it's just really cute, and I really love this book. Maya Banks sometimes for me is a hit or miss. I think I don't know why, this might just be me, but I feel like the first books in all of her series I really love, but then the second book is like meh, and then I haven't read like at all one of the third books in her series, but I think this is an awesome Highlander romance, so definitely check it out. So the next question is, do you prefer new or old school historical romances? So I think I have not read a lot of old school historical romance. I definitely love their covers and stepbacks more than the newer ones. But I think I've been reading more newer historical romances, so I guess newer, I think. But I definitely want to read more old school historical romances. It's just that some of them are a little bit iffy on consent, and just a little iffy about, like, you know, alpha men and their whatever, and like yeah. The next question is, what are your favorite historical romance tropes? I definitely love Highlander romances. I don't know if that's a trope. I love hate to love romances and historical romances. I think they're so much fun. I'm trying to think. Marriage of convenience. I love when they have to like help somebody get married off, but then they fall in love with them in the process. I think that's really fun to read. I really love just like social society. I think that's fun. Or different classes. I think that's one of my favorites. Amnesia romances. I've read a couple of those, and I think they're really fun. And historical romances, when a heroine is, well, I read one recently. It's called, I'll put it up on the screen, but I think it's called like, it's by Lorraine Heath. I'll remember when I edit it, but our heroine kind of falls into the river, and she's kind of really mean to the hero. And so he kind of like tricks her. It's like, you know, the 1980s movie Overboard. It's like that, but in historical romance. And it was awesome. I loved it. I listened to it on audio. And then the next one is, what are your favorite historical romance settings? I think I haven't read a lot of different settings. I mostly read like Scotland, which I really love, England, which is fun, but sometimes it gets a little old, just like kind of not the same story, but just, you know, society. I want to definitely read more like American romances, historical romances. I think it'd be fun. I don't know if there's, oh, I love pirate romances. That's one of my favorite tropes. Like Sea of Ruin was amazing. And I love kind of sea romances. I think those are really, really fun. What is the oldest historical romance you own? And that is The Bride by Julie Garwood. I think this is my oldest. This was in 1986, and I'm actually reading this right now for a historical romance reading vlog that's coming out soon. So definitely look on my channel for that, I think next week. But that one I am really liking so far. The next question is, what is your favorite step back you own? I have to go with this one. I really love it. It's Lisa Kleypa's Someone to Watch Over Me. This one is just so pretty. I love her dress. I think it's gorgeous, and he's gorgeous, and I really want to get the Christine and Dodd book with like the 3 hands, but I can't find it anywhere. But I think that one's pretty fun. I don't know. What historical romance releases are you excited for? I'm really excited for the Diana Quincy book that's coming out. It's the second book in the with Her Night with the Duke series. I really loved Her Night with the Duke. I thought that was a really good romance. I can't really remember. I think maybe Eloisa James is coming out with a new book. I know Kerrigan Byrne just came out with her new book, but people haven't really loved it. So I don't really know. I gotta be more, I guess, versed in publications for historical romances. And the last question is, what creators do you follow for historical romance recommendations? So I follow Lacy Book Lovers, Jess from Peace Out Books, Remarkably Lisa. I follow Books with Samantha, Crystal's Bookish Life, In Love and Words, Bree, Riley Marie. Those are the ones I can think off the top of my head. I'll link all of the ones that I follow down below in the description box, but I want to thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.